And Zach also considers this next movie to be way better than I thought. I hate doing Kelly slander, but I showed up for this movie. It just did not show up for me. Showing Up, the newest Kelly Reichardt film that is considered, let me check here because still a comedy drama about her life at the college that she goes to. It's got its funny moments, but it talks about the most mundane way to deal with your creativity. And it may or may not be based off a lot of the people who she deals with on a daily basis.
Right.
I get and respect a lot of what this movie goes for. I love Kelly Reichardt. First Cow, one of the best movies of that year. I'm going to need to rewatch this one, Zach. Tell me why I need to rewatch this one.
Because I think there are very few films I've seen that get at the experience of being an artist better than this one, or at least the experience of trying to produce creative works. Because for Michelle Williams' character, which I think we can pretty safely assume is very based on Kelly Reichardt, even though she's a sculptor and not a filmmaker here. There's
Not
just like a disposition. There's a disposition that they both share that's a bit gruff and grumpy, which you can find out more about Kelly Reichardt's grumpy disposition by visiting her Rate My Professor's profile.
That's why that's been trending, huh?
Yeah, I think so, at least. But for Showing Up, at least, I think, there's no gigantic chaos or dramatic turn in this movie. There's no big problem that needs solving or her world is going to explode. There's no bombs or guns or car chases or anything like that in this film. It is extremely low key and really about just the little nuisances and annoyances that come with modern life. Like how hard it is to finish your project when you don't have hot water in your shower, right? Yes. And dealing with the landlord and making sure that you are able to show up at your job on time and stuff like that. I just think it's a really well-observed film about minutia and how hard it is to get in the right mindset to do the things you want to do. To me, that reminded me a bit of Patterson, which is another film that sort of explores the quieter moments of a creative's life. I get finding it uninvolving and boring, but this one just really worked for me.
I can't even argue with that, and that's the best part about movies. Patterson is the best example of me wanting to take it slow pace, and I love the energy that movie has. To me, I wouldn't change anything of it. Obviously, it's her movie. It's just, when you have an annoying character and you're like, yeah, the point of that character is to annoy you. They could also be too effective. And to me, I was just like, damn, you just live this, like, I would just dip out of there. I guess you feel it's so effective at making you feel as annoyed as she is by everyone around her who's causing her these problems that, like, I don't need to revisit that when you know that emotion so well. But Showing Up, it really hits at that. I think everyone around does really great performances. I want to give a shout out to John Manjaro, who just, the energy, when he enters a room, just sucks out all the energy the way he walks around. I'm sure you have some other ones you want to shout out.
Yeah, it features a couple of our favorites. We mentioned John Magaro. Andre 3000 has kind of a small part in this and also contributes to the score by playing flute, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Hong Chow. Hong Chow always showing up in supporting parts and being the best part of movies like this.
Agreed. I would highly recommend, there's a New York Film Festival interview that happened with this. And not that there was beef, but they would talk about like how they got under each other's skin, which I thought was pretty interesting in terms of the actors playing real life. And then the idea that you could just feel people who work with this woman came to the school or came to the screenings and knew they were up on Scream. Never has a movie really needed to highlight that no person or personality is based off a real person in this film. They needed that in the credits, but this is out in limited release.
I saw that come up and I was like, bullshit.
Right? It's out in limited release. I think Zach recommends leaving the house to go see it.
I would, maybe not for everybody, because like as we are both emphasizing, this is a very low key film. Like maybe if you are already a fan of films like Patterson, leave your house, or Kelly Reichardt's movies, watch it. I'd say it's maybe more like a matinee price kind of deal for me.
I think it's worth the rent if you're a Kelly fan when it comes out at home, or maybe even streaming on Criterion or whatever other streaming service is able to pick it up to showcase it. But I do want to see that student film that she does when she teaches, where she makes every single person take a feature-length film. They work on 10 minutes each. They do their own casting, their own writing, and then she compiles every project to make the feature-length film. That sounds so insane. I want to see a copy of one of those. I need to see that thesis.
Yeah, I want to see her tell an 18-year-old that you shouldn't be a filmmaker. Another thing that her Rate My Professor says that she did.
Yeah, I think, yeah. If you can't take that, I'm going to be honest, then you shouldn't be in the film industry. You should be able to take a couple of those. So that's a good lesson.